completely exceeded our expectations. From the architecture to the affordability, it felt like one of the most livable cities in Europe.
We spent the last 30 days there exploring everything that Budapest had to offer, and this is our video on it. Welcome back to Rootless Roads. So first we're going to start with a few things that we loved about Budapest and then get into the few things that we didn't love so much about Budapest.
To start, Budapest just felt so lively to me. Everybody around was very young and very hip. We did find out that it's because there is a college there.
Big university town.
Yeah, a lot of people come to study abroad. Another thing that I loved was English was very widely spoken. It was pretty much the prominent language in Budapest because of how many foreigners come from all around. So that made it really nice for us.
Yeah. It was also extremely walkable. I don't know if we used the public transportation really at all. We just walked everywhere. The public metro and transportation looked incredible. They were everywhere. It was really affordable. We did look at pricing. We just didn't really need to use it. We loved walking everywhere, and there was really nowhere that we went that we wanted to go that was more than a 40-minute walk tops. There was multiple huge grocery stores just within a 10-minute walk of where we were staying. There was gyms, there's libraries, cafes, restaurants. Everything that we wanted and needed was within a 10 to 15-minute walk. So it felt very livable. Another thing that we loved is it was obviously touristy. There was tourists there, but it didn't feel over densely populated with tourists. I've been to Prague in the summer, I've been to Rome in the summer, where people are just flooding in to see a lot of the tourist attractions, and you squeeze your way to the top to get 30 seconds in a picture and you're out. None of that was like that in Budapest whatsoever. Even all of the castles and all of the main tourist attractions, were there tourists there? Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't overly crowded by any means. Now, we were also there in October, which isn't peak season, but after doing a little bit of research, it does seem like it is like that year-round.
Yeah, Budapest is definitely still one of Europe's hidden gems for sure.
Yeah. Another thing is it was just beautiful.
So pretty.
Yeah, both the architecture and the nature around it was really pretty. And that's what I think makes it a little distinct as a European city, was the nature. There's a ton of trees, a river splits it. It actually used to be Buda on one side of the river and Pest on the other side of the river. There were mountains and hills and trees everywhere that were changing colors in October. It was very naturally pretty for a city, where a lot of cities that we've been to have been very pretty in terms of the architecture. Budapest had both, so that was really unique and that was really cool.
Another thing that we loved was the city felt so safe. There were many times that I would just go and walk around by myself. But even when I wasn't by myself, just walking about at night, during the day, at all times, we felt totally safe.
Yeah. For a city, it felt incredibly safe. It was really cool. Now, with any place, there were a couple of drawbacks. I do want to say they weren't major, but there are a couple of things that we did want to talk about. The first one, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because it really wasn't that big of a deal, but the amount of construction that was going on in the city, and that may have just been where we were staying. Every morning, 6 a.m., just construction. A lot of the buildings had scaffolding over them. There was still a lot of beauty to look at, but there was a lot of construction blocking roads, blocking buildings, things like that. Again, it's a city, it's gonna happen. It just did feel like there was a lot going on there.
Our Airbnb, its backyard was a construction zone the entire time. They dug a trench that was about 20 feet deep and then continued to backfill it. So it was just constant noise. But like Dom said, that does happen and it is a city. There were also a lot of cars all around. Not that it's a make or break, but when there's traffic and honking horns and things like that, there just tended to be quite a few cars driving around the city.
Yeah, more so than other cities that we've been to, it seemed.
Yeah,
But again, not really that big of a deal. And lastly, and you are going to get this with almost any city, is the touristy areas were definitely touristy. There was people outside of the restaurants calling you to come in. We did get suckered into going to one restaurant in the touristy area, and it was one of the worst meals we've had, one of the most expensive meals we had. So That's with any city. Don't get suckered into going into restaurants and stuff in those areas.
We can get into where we stayed. We stayed in District 8. Budapest is split into districts. And I would say most of the tourist attractions are in districts 5 and 7. So ours was a little bit removed, but like we said in the beginning, no further than a 30-minute, 40-minute walk to everything that we wanted to see. We really loved the area that we stayed in. There were a lot of cool cafes. It was a more quaint, quiet area. We were right by the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sabo Irwin Library. That was absolutely beautiful. We'll get into that more coming up here. But yeah, District 8 was awesome. We loved it.
Next, we'll get real quick into the cost of living. We actually are going to make another separate video really going deep into this budget, but I do want to give you guys a quick overview on what it actually costs to live in Budapest for a month. And it was basically $4,000 for what we did. Now, I do want to preface by saying we do travel on a budget, but not overdoing that budget by any means. We ate out, I believe it was 27 times. We got good groceries. I eat a lot of meat, which is expensive over here. We got gym memberships that each cost $50. We each actually got a tattoo as well. That all was included in the budget. So I think realistically, if you wanted to do this very cheaply, you could probably get by for about $2,500. And if you wanted to do it pretty cheaply, $3,000, $3,200 could definitely be doable. You could also spend a lot more than $4,000. There are certain things we do to keep that budget low. We don't really get drinks out with dinner. Like we'll get cocktails, we'll get beer here and there. But there are a few strategies that we take that definitely helps keep that down.
Yeah. Another one is grocery shopping and cooking a lot at home, which we did a separate video on that and we'll link it down below here. But that saves you a lot of money just because there are 3 meals in the day. So cooking at home for at least one of them, 2 of them really helps on that budget.
Yeah, but stay tuned for the deep budget. We'll get into what the Airbnb costs, what groceries cost, how many meals we ate out, what those meals cost. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty awesome. I think cappuccinos were about $3. Dinners ranged anywhere from $10 to $20. Our rent was, I think, like $1,400 for the month. But yeah, we'll get another video with more detail.
Yeah. I do want to talk about some of our favorite restaurants that we went to when we were there. There was a huge array of cuisine. Personally, we were not the biggest fans of traditional Hungarian cuisine. We did try goulash and we tried langos, which were both delicious, but there were things that we preferred more over that. One of the places that is world renowned is called Boar's Soup. It's right by the Ruin Bar area, but Boar's Soup was phenomenal. They have a rotating menu every single day, so there's always new soups. And then they do these little baguette style sandwiches where they stuff the baguette on the inside. They were so good. Another thing are the chimney cakes. Chimney cakes are a traditional Hungarian dessert to where it's pretty much dough that's wrapped around a cylinder, so it looks like a cone. But chimney cakes, you can get them done up however you want, but they are so good. We highly recommend trying those.
Make sure you look at reviews before you go to a place. That's huge for the chimney cakes. You'll see the touristy ones have 2.4 star reviews, and those are terrible. And then the good ones have like 4.7, and they're everywhere throughout the city, both good and bad. We got, 5 chimney cakes from 5 different places where we checked the reviews before all of them. They were all fantastic.
There was also a focacceria that was right by our Airbnb called Scusia Focacceria. So phenomenal. They hand make their sandwiches. They serve them to you in these little boxes. But we went there multiple times. That was so good. Another random one, but we also found this one by looking at the reviews, is called Swad Bros Indian Food.
I think Squad Barras or Barros.
Swad
like
Barros.
Not Bros.
Okay.
Barros. For clarification here.
But the food was so inexpensive and it was so good.
Some of the best Indian food I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And we walked out after getting 3 entrees, 2 beers, rice, non-bread, appetizers for like
less than $40.
Yeah, less than $40.
It was really good.
So good.
Another place we went here to actually celebrate a little anniversary was Mazel Tov. It's traditional Israeli food. It's in a giant greenhouse, basically. That was definitely the most expensive meal we had. I think walking out, that meal was like $100, but that was nice cuisine, very fancy. We each got drinks, appetizer, food, delicious.
It was so good.
And then the last place, like it's an honorable mention, is Smashies. Yeah, they just had little American street food burgers that kind of reminded me of Five Guys, but actually better. Not the best for you, obviously, but really good if you're looking for some comfort American food too.
Let's get into a few of the things that we would recommend as must-sees when traveling to Budapest. First one, which was probably one of my favorite things we did, was and I'm going to butcher this again, Sasbo Irvin Library. The ticket was only $6 to get in. There was, 6 stories? And each one had a different genres of books and CDs and records. But on floor 4 is where you can specifically find all of the older architecture style rooms. It was beautiful though. Like, I could have spent all day in there just reading, people watching, looking at the rooms. It was just, it was gorgeous. Another thing that we did, and we took a whole day to do this, we did the Buda Castle walk. It takes you from one side of the city to the other, so you cross the bridge, and then there's this big hill that you take the paths, and then there's a viewpoint at the top of the hill where you can overlook the whole river and the city, which is beautiful, and then you continue and follow that down, and that's where you find the Fisherman's Bastion, the Buda Castle. There were a couple other buildings over there that are must-sees as well, but they're all along the same path. But that was an awesome day experience, and you kind of hit it all in one, which is really nice.
One trick, maybe we can show a little picture, is GPS My City is a really cool app. I think it's $14 a year. It basically just builds little tours for you, like self-guided tours. So the castle walk was on there. You just download the map on your phone and it'll take you to all of the destinations and actually give you some history behind them. We use that constantly. That might even deserve its own video at some point. Another reason a lot of people go to Budapest is for the baths. We had the chance to go to Rootless bathhouse. Rootless was cool. I will say it was cool. To be honest, it was a little bit underwhelming for spending $70 on the tickets. It was not the highlight of the trip, in my opinion. I'm glad that we did it because we were in Budapest and it was worth seeing, but I definitely wouldn't write home about it. So if you are going to Budapest on a budget and spending that money on the ticket causes stress, I would be okay with avoiding it. It was cool. If you do have a free day that you are looking to do something, it was worth seeing and it was neat. I think was a little bit underwhelmed.
Honestly, we spent most of our time just meandering the city, walking around, grabbing beers places. We did do an escape room that was super fun. Budapest also has amazing thrift and vintage stores. I did not expect that, and I'm a huge thrifter. It was impeccable. So definitely as you walk around, keep your eye out for those, pop in, see what they have. The Jewish Quarter was awesome. We spent a few days exploring that area. And just let yourself get lost. There's a lot to see, and go without expectations for the day. See where it takes you.
It's the beauty of slow travel. Overall, we loved Budapest. It was a great place to start our slow travel trip. Just from the people, to the food, to the architecture, to the nature. It was a really awesome place to spend a month.
Yeah, it was great.
If you're planning a trip to Budapest at any point in the future, definitely drop any questions below and we'd be happy to answer them after spending a month there. Stay tuned for our budget video, which will likely be the next one. And
don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.